this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, I won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Leave behind what's weighing me down, wash away what's holding me back. My heart is falling, face forward, feet on the ground, living in this courage I've found. The sky is calling, gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, I won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Leave behind what's weighing me down, wash away what's holding me back. My heart is falling, face forward, feet on the ground, living in this courage I've found. The sky is calling, gonna climb this mountain, I won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, I won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. One step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time.
Good morning and welcome, welcome. It is my honor and privilege to greet you as we gather for our Sunday sacred service, knowing that us coming together is a blessing to ourselves and to our world. And I especially want to give a warm welcome to those who are from outside our area. And I want to just slide in there Diane, who is now a practitioner. So a bit of housekeeping. We are recording this service and we will be posting it on social media to support those who are unable to attend this morning and to continue to build out our community. Because of that, please remember that you can shut off your video and or identify with just a name, as some people have. So one of our attempts in gathering on Sunday mornings is to create what the Quakers call a gathered space, which means that together we unite in a consciousness of the one that is a felt unity. Because of that intent to stay gathered, I would encourage you to refrain from using the chat function until there is a call for prayers at the end of service. So after service, there will be an opportunity for a 5-minute complimentary spiritual mind treatment with a practitioner in a private Zoom room. Thank you. And now, without further ado, I get the privilege of introducing our speaker today. So most of you know her, but very few of us completely understand or comprehend all that she does to support our center. She lives and breathes our teachings and is an ordained minister with Centers for Spiritual Living. She is our very own Reverend Patricia Van Workum.
Good morning, and thank you, Linda. I think one has to be introduced by someone else to be able to appreciate what they've done. Sharon is on a well-deserved vacation, Reverend Sharon, playing with grandchildren, which we've been encouraging her to do for about a month now. So everybody think kind thoughts of her getting up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down with grandchildren. I want to introduce today's practitioner. Margie is somewhat new to our community, probably a year and a half by now, but she is definitely not new to the teaching and not new to Centers for Spiritual Living. She has served in 2 centers before she came to us, and we are delighted to welcome her wisdom, and I'm going to say maturity in the best sense, having grown into wisdom, to be with us today as our practitioner of the day. Margie?
And taking this sacred moment and absolutely knowing that I know in my heart of hearts there's one God. And I refer to that God by a divine presence. This divine presence encircles me and sits in the tabernacle of my heart. And as I know this for me and the peace it brings to me, I know this for everyone in our community and everyone on this Zoom that is offered to us. And I just know all of us are just one with this presence of joy and peace, love, tranquility, prosperity, everything that God is, we are. And as I know this, I claim it for all of us. And as I know this, I'm so blessed. I bless the service today with Reverend Patricia. I bless all of us today. And I'm so grateful. And I know it's already into the law, and so it is. Thank you. And our vision, we are a welcoming sanctuary community where all are accepted, valued, and supported in the global family. And our mission, we inspire and nurture personal and global transformation through the teaching of science of mind. Purpose and joy and love, we connect in service to all life. And so it is.
Amen. And so it is.
Here in the present, I do not need to run ahead. I do not need to get away. I will stay right here, here in the present. 'Cause I know all is well, here in the present.
Hello, Spirit. You are right here.
And I am right here with you. I am always right here with you. Right here, right now, I remember this truth. And I accept for myself and everyone listening a greater, a deeper, a richer relationship with you, with your presence. As I deepen this connection, I deepen my awareness of your presence in my life. Right here, right now. And I am grateful. Yes.
I do not need to run ahead. I do not need to get away. I will stay right here, here in the present. Yes, I will, 'cause I know all is well. All is well. I know all is well. Here in the present.
Our readings today. God is intelligent mind in spirit. There is a direct response from this universal intelligence to our intelligence. If we ask for bread, we shall not receive a stone. We are told we must ask, believing if we are to receive. Here again, we are meeting the law of cause and effect in the teachings of Jesus. Prayer is a certain manner of approach to the Spirit, a conscious act of the mind, a concrete experience of the knowing faculty. Prayer should be direct and specific and should always be accomplished by a positive receptivity. God cannot answer prayers which have no meanings. I have come to believe over and over again that what is most important to me must be spoken, made verbal, and shared, even at the risk of it having it bruised or misunderstood. Hope is never silent. When we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard or welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak. And now for our guided meditation, and it will be followed by our poet, our in-house poet, who has been writing poetry for over 30 years. And we've been blessed several times over the years by his beautiful words. And so after the meditation, the poetry will be done by our very own Doug Van Hork.
I invite you to get fully connected to your body, to your soul, and to your mind. You know, we move around so busy that we spend more time outside of ourselves than inside. So let's go in together. Visualize a serene setting, whether it be water, grass, flowers, butterflies, something bigger, more amazing than us. And I want to ask you to engage your mind, surrendering to your greatness and accepting your value. I want you to refrain from allowing your mind to ask the why, the how, the when, the where. You don't need any of those answers right now. You just need to know that it's the perfect time to set your champion free. Take a deep breath with me, allowing all other thoughts to melt away. I am designed for greatness. My light is meant to shine. And my job is to let it shine. I am worthy of healthy, whole, and complete love. No one can design my destiny but me. I will get to my goals with a no matter what mindset. I move forward with the understanding that quitters never win and winners never quit. And I have been designed as a winner. You
Good morning, everyone. The poem this morning is one I wrote 3 years ago, almost to the day, and it is the first one that came to mind when I saw that this week's title was Mindful Speech. This is called The Power of Your Word. If God gave us language, then every word spoken is sacred. And so knowing this, I look deep into each conversation, pushing aside the vowels and the consonants, hoping to find the meaning, the mystery, and the freedom hiding there. Why is it the excited blue jay has so much to say, yet so few ways of saying it, while we can speak thousands of words a day, covering 100 different topics, and yet all we're really saying is, hear my truth. If this is so, then let's choose our words wisely and always speak from the heart. Tell me, how is it that by uttering just that one small word, no, either in anger or fear, I can put at risk an entire night's worth of prayer? And yet I'm so surprised when with one clear and certain yes, I can erase an entire day's worth of doubt. If this is true, then let's choose our words wisely and always speak from the heart. Have you noticed how on this world, it seems like there is always some kind of hole somewhere for us to fall into? Have you noticed that on this world, it seems like there is always some kind of hole somewhere for us to fall into? Can it be that life loves us so much it gives us an abundance of holes? We have learned so many ways to fall in. Let's admit we've mastered this falling and move on. Choose now instead to climb up with vigor and praise. Say out loud, I am learning, Lord, my word is my freedom. Shout as you climb out, I am no longer a helpless prisoner of these pits. I am remembering who I am. And as with any tree whose trunk is badly damaged, there's always the danger of disease and disfigurement, and it can take years to recover. The longer I take to recognize and release the deep woundings around my soul, the longer I remain in some way a risk to all those around me. That is why I try to choose my words wisely and always speak from the heart. You know, it's a rare and true warrior who carries a sword in one hand and a joyful song in the heart. Be that warrior. Trust that divine discernment that lives in us all. Use it to strike down all doubt, shadow, and remorse. Don't fear the deep work of transformation. Let all your words speak only to everyone's rightful rising up. Let all your work be life-affirming and an honor. Douglas, it's become clear now that all the hard work you've been doing is paying off, and I am glad. I think I'm finally beginning to understand now why it is we all should say, let's choose our words wisely and always speak from the heart.
Mindful speech. That is our topic. I cannot imagine a more important topic at the times we find ourselves in. What we say matters. In the Bible, John 1:1, it begins with, in the beginning, there was the Word. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Creation was spoken into being, breathed into being through intention, creativity, and then manifested as our world. In this same way, we create our own world by the words we speak. We have the power to cause great harm with our speech, or great harm by not speaking. And we're sometimes afraid of our own voice or the voices of others. Mindful speech allows us to speak our truth bravely and boldly into the world. And when we're practiced at speaking our truth, we are also invited to mindfully listen. I'm going to go through 3 approaches to this topic. The science of mind, which includes science, a more energetic approach, and then a very practical set of tools. Because all the theory in the world doesn't help if you don't know how to put it into practice. And our teaching, if anything, is practical. So in science of mind, we believe that we are co-creators with spirit. We live and speak in alignment with spirit. Our thoughts and our words have impact and meaning. We are creative agents through them. And with them, we put meaning and belief into our words and our prayers. It is this meaning, this conviction that we put into our words, the mindfulness that is as its root, that our words can lift, our words can create. Remember Reverend Sharon's equation. We have belief, we have conviction, we have manifestation. It takes all 3. And we express our convictions and our beliefs through our words. Again, it's no surprise that the book of John speaks to the word, because when we are intimately aligned with our world, our word, then we live into the story that our beliefs created. Language connects us with others to both survive and to speak the world of our vision. CSL has a vision of creating a world that works for everyone. That is our reality. That is our greater vision. It is our calling. It's our privilege to have the tool of language. You know, there's 6,500 languages in this world. That's more diversity than I can comprehend. It's like an infinity of diversity in language. And it's there for a reason, to give us the tools to create the most wondrous world. It's how our calling to create a world that works for everyone comes into being. Now, the science. Before there were any stars in the galaxy, like almost 14 billion years ago, our universe was just a ball of hot plasma, electrons and neutrons and light. And sound waves shook this infant universe, triggered by minute or quantum fluctuations. And that happened just moments before the Big Bang of the universe. As these sound waves spread out through the universe, it created patterns of sound and light, like a stone being dropped into a pond. Now, amazingly enough, it left a trail that still exists. And by mapping those ancient patterns of sound and light, the Planck, P-L-A-N-K, I don't really know how to pronounce it, the Planck Space Telescope essentially sees the sound echoes of that original movement of life. And they translated it actually into a sound. You can hear the primordial sound of the universe. You can go to www.jpl.nasa.gov and listen to it. Okay? I just thought it was amazing, and how much it jives with the Hindu sense of the world starting with the sound Om, that was the original vibration. We know that the vibration of our words creates the world, and it's reflected in so many different ways of thinking about it. Now, as Andre Lorde said, sometimes we are frightened to speak what is most true for us because we fear the repercussions of that truth. And that's where our intention, the energy behind our words, becomes so critical. Most of you are aware of the energy centers called the chakras. I want to use that kind of as a model for what I'm going to be introducing next. I'm only going to talk about 3 of the chakras. The 3rd chakra is essentially our ego. It's also the seat of individuality and curiosity, our will to know about the world. The 5th chakra is our ability to speak authentically, to speak our truth into the world, and to really want to speak that truth. But as Warner Wisby said, truth without kindness is brutality. And this is where the heart chakra becomes so important, because it transmutes the power of our will to know, our ability to tell the truth, to know our truth and speak it. It is transformed by the power of love. And when we come from that energy, speaking our truth, our individual truth, and speaking it authentically with authority and with love, we will always be heard. Now, I said I was going to give you some tools too. So let's switch to the next slide. Sometimes we say either too much or too little. We can say too much, but not actually say anything and let our volume and our passion try to convey what's hidden, what we don't feel comfortable saying. Or we can fill the conversation with gossip and trivialities. What TV show did you watch? Did you see? Lots and lots of words, but very little communication. We distract ourselves with lots and lots of words. Yet we know when we move into more mindful speech, we have greater access to communicating in a fuller and more authentic way. There's a wonderful book out. It was actually written for a more business-oriented environment that also has examples within relationships, intimate relationships. And it's called Crucial Conversations. And the authors define a crucial conversation as a discussion between 2 or more people where the stakes are high and emotions run strong. I cannot think of a better description of what we are seeing in our world right now than a crucial conversation about racial equality and social justice and environmental justice. All of it's coming together, and there are so many opinions and so much emotion. This is the definition of a crucial conversation. And what I want to say is that we are here because we know the power of our words. We know what they can create. And we are called, it is our calling to create a world that works for everyone. Therefore, we must be in the middle of this conversation in whatever way works for us. I'm not saying there's one right way to be in the conversation. There isn't. Just like there are 6,500 languages, or 6,500 languages, there are at least that many conversations. So when you find yourself in one, there's some really wonderful tools. And the first one is to remember that no one can speak their truth unless they feel safe. So before you start a conversation, be sure that you feel safe and watch the other person's body language and what they say and what they don't say. And make sure that they also feel safe. Check in with them. You know, how are you feeling? What's going on for you right now? And that's the self-assess for success step, the tool. There's always two things going on. There's the content of what we're saying, and there's the process that's happening as we say it. And we need to keep an eye and an ear both on the content, the facts that are being presented, and the process. How's it coming across? So let the facts lead. They have a wonderful statement about this. Abandon your absolute certainty by distinguishing between hard facts and your invented story. And trust me, you have an invented story that is driving you in every crucial conversation you get into. And so does whomever you're talking to. So again, it requires safety to be able to see the facts and withdraw, let go, surrender our story. And we do that by looking within ourselves. You have to identify your own stories. You have to check the facts. And then with the person you're talking to, there has to be mutual purpose. If you're not working for a mutual purpose, there's no point to the conversation because someone's not listening and someone is talking at rather than with in the conversation. It's as important to agree on a mutual purpose as it is to make sure that the other person perceives that you're coming from that mutual purpose, that it's not manipulative, that it's not, that you haven't already decided what the outcome must be, okay? And perception and reality can be very different things. So when things start getting tense, furious, they say the key is curiosity, which is back to that checking in. What's going on? It's very common to shut down or to walk away when there's a lot of anger in the room. And again, get curious. Why is this important? What's really going on behind the emotion? Slapping back or withdrawing does not move the conversation forward. It does not reach the truth. Be curious and watch your words and tone, of course. This seems really obvious, but this is one of the ones that I have had to work on a lot because I kind of feel like the character in Roger Rabbit who says, I'm really not a bad girl, I'm just drawn this way. I'm really not mad at you. I'm really not grim, but my face goes into this, I don't know, expression when I'm really intent about something. I'm intensely involved and I'm processing, I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking. So I may not look you in the eye. I may look like I'm frowning. My voice tone may come out strange or at odds, because that's also the key. Sorry, I'm trying to get the right phrase. Oh, Its actions speak louder than words. We've always been told that. However, when the actions do not match the words, is when we have large issues with credibility and people start doubting our purpose, that we really are truly working to a mutual goal. Okay. And there's always a gap between what we say and what they hear. Now, I cannot be responsible for what you hear. That's something happens in the ethers between my mouth and your ears, okay? And it goes through your stories and your perceptions. But I can look to see whether I'm saying things in a way that you are most likely to be able to hear them. That I can control. I can control my reactions and go to curiosity. Okay? Because when we get into that fight or flight, that attack or run away, we end up making what they call fool's choices. A fool's choice is like saying my way or the highway. It's when you only see two options. It is either this or it's that. And our thinking gets tunneled into this false dichotomy of there's only two ways of thinking about this. There's only two possible outcomes. And emotionally, it's always going to be, it's either your way or my way. Not true. Not true. Let me say it again. Not true. A friend of mine broke me of my habit of saying there's only two things here by saying there's at least two things. There's probably three or more. There's at least three ways of looking at something. And it's that middle ground where we find solutions that work for both of us. So if you feel yourself in this place of it's either give up or demand what you want, go back to the earlier tools. Check for safety. Check that you're still on mutual purpose. And the last tool is listen. This is where mindfulness definitely comes into the conversation. I have to really listen to you to know whether you feel safe. I have to listen to me to know whether I feel safe. We had a period of time on the board of directors where emotions were running high, shall we say. And this is part of the growth of an organization, just like the growth of a relationship. There are going to be points where passion enters. Crucial conversations need to happen. And what we fell back on as a board was the traditional talking stick. So we weren't all talking over each other. Now, most of our board is female, and I'm sorry, women have a really wonderful ability to speak and process at the same time and to talk over each other and to leap in, and it's not always comfortable for others. So having the talking stick helped. But what helped even more was a gift that Reverend Sharon brought to us, and I don't even remember the name of it, but it was this metal kind of dragon thing that when anyone picked that up, it meant one of two things. It meant either they were at that point afraid. It was a deliberate saying, something's going on here and I don't feel safe. Something's not comfortable. Or it means I'm being called to say something that's probably going to be an uncomfortable truth, either for me or whoever's listening. In every group, there is someone who says, there's a pink elephant in the room, and we have to deal with it. In a personal relationship, it's the one who's willing to say, I am not happy. This is not working for me. There has got to be a better way. And I don't know anybody who walks into that conversation that isn't at some level terrified. It's a place of complete vulnerability. And that's what a crucial conversation is. It's walking in, mindful of where I'm feeling, and using the tool of speech to create a world, to create a new experience. Again, there are so many conversations going on right now about social justice and racism, ecological justice, all of it. All these are crucial conversations. And we really are in the middle of all of them. And we can choose to be mindful or not. Harvey Milk, one of the quotes you had in the beginning, said, "Hope is never silent." And that doesn't mean that there's never a time or a need for silence, because there is. That's where we go within and process. But it's just possible that what Harvey Milk was also saying is that if we do not speak, nothing gets born, nothing is created, nothing changes. And if we don't listen to the silence, we can also silence other people, cut them out of the conversation. The quote I gave earlier about truth without love is brutality. The other half of that is love without truth is hypocrisy. Let me say that again. Truth without love is brutality, and love without truth is hypocrisy. And that's the line we walk. To be absolutely truthful and say it with love. To hold those conversations in love, as love, and with love. One of my favorite quotes these days is from James Baldwin. It says, "An old world is dying, and a new one, kicking in the belly of its mother, time, announces that it is ready to be born." Sound familiar? Sound like what the current environment's about? Something wanting to be born? Something new coming into the world? Baldwin continues, "The birth will not be easy, and many of us are doomed to discover that we are exceedingly clumsy midwives." I love that quote for a number of reasons. A midwife is always there to assist. Anyone we're having a conversation with, anyone we're trying to have a conversation, we are midwifing something new. And we may be clumsy. That's why I gave you the tools. Read the book, Crucial Conversations. It'll help. But we take our tools, we take our intent, and we take the knowledge that our word has power when spoken with conviction. That's what Holmes teaches. That's what we prove in our lives every day we stay in this teaching. When we speak from that place of understanding, where the ego and our ability to recognize and authentically speak come together through love, then we can speak to a world and build a world of love and power into being. And it will truly be a world that works for everyone. Thank you. Deep breath. Deep breath. Now it's time for prayer requests. And there's two ways you can turn in a prayer request. One is always open, and that's through our website. And those prayer requests go straight to Reverend Sharon and the practitioners, and they will be treated on. Or you can enter it into the chat right now. And again, those treatment requests will be treated on. You also have a third opportunity. We started something fairly new, which is to have, in some churches, in some centers, they're called 5-minute miracles. But essentially, we're offering, the practitioners of this center are offering brief periods of treatment as a gift after the service. And you'll be able to go into Zoom rooms, which are confidential and private, and meet with a practitioner for about 5 minutes. And I encourage you to take advantage of that. If you've not had a practitioner face-to-face doing the treatment, you're missing out. It's a wonderful support for wherever you find yourself. So the chat is filling up with prayer requests. So let us breathe into the present moment. As Melissa and Z said, there's no reason to hurry. There's no reason to avoid, because all there is the very present moment. And in that present moment, the presence of the One Spirit is completely and totally present and available. That infinite field of possibility and the creative intelligence come together every moment. And I recognize that I am in this moment. And that infinite field of creativity and that creative wisdom is present and alive and moving through me right now. And knowing that, I know that the essential unity and wholeness that Spirit is fully present in all of its creations. 2-footed, 4-footed, winged, and slithering. All creation. And I know that this wholeness shines through, resolving any condition, situation, or circumstance that makes it appear less than whole. One cannot change the nature of the universe. It is love. It is wholeness. And I speak my word on behalf of everyone who can hear me, and even those who can't. That I know that this truth, this wholeness, this divinity is awake, alive, and moving through every thought, every moment. And it is mine to capture that, put it into my life, and make it real, make it my world. And I give this word, I give this charge to the universe, into the law of mind, knowing that it is already done. And so with great gratitude and joy, I say, and so it is.
Good morning. This is our opportunity to give. Take a moment with me and feel in your heart, in your mind, in your being, do you feel given to? Enriched, filled up. With that energy, when you give of your heart and your filled upness and all of you with love, that energy comes back to you multiplied many times over, as we will say in a minute in our affirmation. Practically speaking, you can donate with PayPal at www.sacscsl.org, or you can mail a personal check to the address shown on the slide. And thank you for your offerings. Let's join in the abundance affirmation. I will say it, and you can stay muted and say it with me. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share and my willingness to share it, knowing that my gift returns to me multiplied many times over. And so it is. And now it is time for our announcements. We managed to be a very busy center, even though we're on Zoom. So if we could move to the next slide. Reverend Sharon continues to do classes. The Bhagavad Gita class, I believe, is done, but she's continuing to do 5 pillars of a spiritual life. Even if you have not attended this class, you can drop in, and there's maybe just 2 more sessions, I think. Tuesday mornings, 10:30 to 12:30. Join the conversation on the 5 pillars of a spiritual life. We have our Wisdom Wednesdays, and the next one is this week, June 24th, from 6:30 to 7:30. That is a wonderful time to be filled up and also to join a conversation where we can actually discuss whatever is being presented. And each one is different. So it's kind of like opening a gift and finding out what's inside the package. And then we have visioning tomorrow, Monday, June 22nd, 6:30 p.m. And I understand that Reverend Sharon will be doing this even if just 1 person or 2 people show up. Then you'll have your own personal visioning. This is a wonderful process. As the slide says, unlock your dreams through your connection with the infinite. We have Kindred Connection on Fridays from 6:30 to 7:30. That is a time to hang out and have fun. And I hear there's a lot of puns. So just bring your desire to connect. That's all that's about. And enjoy. And last but not least, we have, as most of you know, a matching donation opportunity. There's an anonymous, I'm reading the slide, it says there's an anonymous philanthropist. That would be me. So I'm outing myself. And I am so grateful to have had gifts and income given to me, like most of us. That includes the $1,200 that all of us got from the government. That was unexpected income for me, that we were able to tithe on with this matching donation so that we can continue doing this live streaming long term. It involves an investment, as you can imagine, in equipment and whatnot. So while our board is wisely figuring out just how to make that work long term, we are also supporting this with funding. I understand that we are at $795. So there's only $105 more needed for this matching grant. Thank you. I think that's it.
I'm going to pop in here just for a second because I can. The Wisdom Wednesday, this Wednesday, is something that came together in some sense in the last minute because it's something we've really wanted to have for a long time, but have not been able to find the right spot for it. Jaime is going to do a presentation on sound and healing. Jaime, would you unmute, and you have 2 minutes.
All right, 2 minutes. So I guess a lot of you have been going to the healing circle that I was doing with the idea of balancing the body and the mind through auricular acupuncture, basically putting needles in the ear. So what I've been trying to see how we can do that. Obviously, can't do needling through Zoom yet. Working on that, but that feature is not available yet. So what I'm going to be doing is something close to that, I'm going to be using a Qigong technique known as the healing sound. And by creating different sounds, we're going to be able to balance the energy of different organs. And in order to understand all of that, I'm going to be giving a very small understanding of what the 5 elements, what the yin and yang theory, what qi is, and all those things. So it'll be fun. It'll be an exercise. So it's physical. You can either stand or sit, but as we do the different sounds, it will be a hand movement and things like that. So yeah, come and check it out. And if it works out, I think it'll be very exciting to do something like that weekly or bi-weekly or whatever. So come. That's it.
Please join me in singing our closing song, which we all should know by now. We are one together on this path of life. We are one in spirit. We remember we are the light. We are one together on this path of life. We are one in spirit. We remember we are the light. We remember we are the light.
And now for our affirmation. I speak life into being with an intention of love, oneness, and peace for ourselves and all living things. And together, knowing absolutely for sure that there's one presence here right now, and knowing that each one of us is united and connected in this love of all there is. And as we know this, we are blessed. We are blessed for today, for this technology that we have to share our love. We are blessed with having each other here and being here to make a world that works for everyone. And we do it with our kindness, our kind words, and the love that we hold in our hearts. And we bless the service, and Reverend Patricia, thank you so much for your words of wisdom. And thank you, Doug, thank you, Jaime, thank you, Linda, thank you, everyone here today, and for Ruth that keeps everything going. And for all of you that are here, join us for fellowship. Thank you. Namaste. And so it is.
Welcome to Fellowship.